Imagine waking up every single day, not to someone else's rules, but, to doing exactly what you want, earning a good living, and feeling truly, deeply free.
Sounds like a fantasy, right?
Yeah, like something plucked straight from a movie script.
Exactly. Well, today we're going far beyond just dreaming about it. We're embarking on a deep dive into the real world of micro-entrepreneurship, where thousands of people are doing precisely that.
It's less of a fantasy, really, and much more of a quiet, powerful revolution happening all around us. Our mission today is to truly unpack the core ideas, some genuinely surprising facts, and practical blueprints laid out in Chris Guillebeau's fantastic book, The $100 Startup.
I love that book.
Yeah, it's a treasure trove of insights gathered from what he calls unexpected entrepreneurs, individuals who built incredibly successful businesses with minimal upfront costs, often starting with less than $100. That's absolutely right. And what I love about this deep dive is how it just sort of dismantles the common myths we often hear about starting a business. Forget the need for venture capital. Forget those 80-page business plans that just sit unread, or even needing an MBA.
Right. Who has time for that?
Exactly. We're going to walk you through real-world stories and concrete strategies you can actually apply, all centered around two incredibly powerful intertwined ideas: freedom and value. These aren't just buzzwords. They're truly rewriting the rules of work as we know it, making entrepreneurship, accessible to anyone. So let's kick things off by really digging into this idea of the micro-business revolution and this persistent, almost relentless pursuit of freedom that underpins it. And it sounds grand, I know, but it's fundamentally about individual people, charting their own course.
It's a massive global phenomenon, truly. What we're witnessing is this incredible surge of individuals creating independent, purpose-driven livelihoods, intentionally bypassing those rigid, traditional career paths that once seemed like, the only viable option. This really is a micro-business revolution.
Yeah.
Fueled significantly by incredible accessibility to technology and the plummeting costs of entry.
It's genuinely astonishing how much the landscape has transformed in such a short time. Think about it. The access to technology has absolutely exploded, right?
Yeah.
And the costs associated with starting something new have just cratered.
Totally.
You can now test market an idea almost instantly. You can open a PayPal account and be ready to receive funds from over 180 countries in literally 5 minutes. That was completely unheard of a generation ago. It truly democratizes entrepreneurship.
And that combination of speed and a low cost completely demolishes the traditional prerequisites. You don't need to borrow a dime of money. You don't have to hire employees on day one. And you certainly don't need to go to business school and rack up, $60,000 or more in tuition debt?
Right.
The core idea the book emphasizes is that you learn as you go, adapting in real time to what the market tells you, making small adjustments along the way.
What's also quite surprising, and maybe even a bit poignant, is how many of these unexpected entrepreneurs didn't start by deliberate choice, but often out of necessity. A lot of them found their true calling accidentally, maybe after being laid off or fired.
Yeah, that's a really common thread.
And almost universally, they've come to view that challenging moment as the best thing that ever happened to them. The catalyst, that pushed them to make a leap they might never have dared otherwise.
The author, Chris Guillebeau, uses his own journey as a kind of compass for this idea of freedom. His path, from importing coffee from Jamaica to volunteering for a medical charity in West Africa, and then evolving into a successful writer and entrepreneur, it was consistently guided by the value of freedom. He puts it so well. Once you've seen what it's like on the other side, good luck trying to follow someone else's rules ever again. It really is an intoxicating yet incredibly positive addiction to self-direction.
That resonates. So, building on that idea of discovering your own path, this next concept really got me thinking. Renaissance you. It's all about unleashing the skills you already possess.
Yeah, that's powerful.
The core idea here is incredibly empowering, isn't it? It challenges us to look inward and recognize that we already have valuable skills. It's just about knowing where to look and, more importantly, how to apply them in a new or unexpected context.
Absolutely. It flies in the face of the notion that you need to go out and acquire entirely new, highly specialized skills before you can even think about starting a business. Often, the skills required for many successful micro-businesses can be acquired through short, focused training periods or even independent study.
Right.
Think about the difference between becoming a master coffee roaster versus, say, a highly specialized surgeon. Very different learning curves, right? Your existing life experience, that unique combination of modest skills you've gathered, can truly be your greatest asset.
Let's talk about Michael from Portland, a fantastic example of this. The book dubs him the accidental mattress king.
Oh yeah, great story.
Michael was a 25-year sales veteran, deep in the corporate cubicle grind, when he was unexpectedly laid off. He went home with that proverbial cardboard box of his belongings, just wondering how he was going to tell his family. A truly gut-wrenching moment.
A very relatable moment of crisis for many. But then an offhand suggestion from a friend who worked at a furniture store changed everything. The friend said, hey, you could probably sell these closeout mattresses one at a time on Craigslist.
Sounds kind of crazy, right?
Totally. Almost desperate. But Michael, with nothing to lose, figured he could at least sell them at cost to recoup some money.
And he took the plunge. He rented a former car showroom, an unexpected but surprisingly cheap location, and completely transformed it. He knew exactly what he didn't want, a seedy, high-pressure mattress store.
Right, he wanted the opposite.
So he intentionally built a no-hard-sell environment, focused on making customers feel genuinely welcome. And here's where it gets really creative. He even offered mattress delivery by bicycle.
Get out. Seriously.
Seriously. This wasn't just any bike. It was a custom tandem bike with a platform built for a king-size mattress. This quirky, unique approach inspired incredible customer loyalty and even fan videos on YouTube.
That's brilliant. The outcome speaks volumes. He was profitable from the very first truckload, able to support his family through this unexpected venture. 2 years later, he donated his old corporate suit to Goodwill, declaring he'd never worn it again and saying, never been happier.
Wow.
That's the profound power of finding a new, innovative application for existing skills and, crucially, a genuine passion for customer service. It wasn't really about mattresses, it was about the experience.
You know, just across town from Michael, another first-time entrepreneur, Sarah Young, opened a yarn store. She had absolutely no prior business experience, which might sound like a major hurdle.
Yeah, it definitely seems tough.
But what she did have was extensive experience as a dedicated shopper. She knew precisely what she wanted in a yarn store, what was missing from the market, and that ideal store simply didn't exist in Portland.
So she built it herself.
Exactly. Defying conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
She built her ideal store at the height of an economic downturn, no less. And the result? Profitable within 6 months, inspiring an international following among knitting enthusiasts.
Amazing. These stories powerfully underscore that it's not always about inventing something entirely new, but about identifying an unmet need based on your own lived experience and then creating a superior, heartfelt solution.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and often counterintuitive. Give them the fish, or what I like to call the art of selling happiness.
I remember this part.
Think about this. When you go to a nice restaurant, you order a delicious salmon risotto, right?
Sounds good.
Now imagine the waiter comes back and invites you into the kitchen to cook it yourself. How would you feel?
Annoyed, confused, I just want the risotto.
Exactly. You wouldn't like it one bit.
Yeah.
Yet so many businesses are, perhaps inadvertently, modeled on this idea of making customers do their own dinner.
It's an incredibly vivid and spot-on analogy. The crucial distinction here is between features and benefits. A feature is merely descriptive if you said, we offer horse rides. That's a feature.
Okay.
A benefit, on the other hand, is emotional. It addresses a deeper need or desire. For the V6 Ranch in California, they weren't just selling horse rides, they were selling happiness and escape, helping their clients escape and be someone new for a weekend. That's a far more powerful emotional connection that people are willing to pay for.
Exactly. Look at Kelly Nissim, a former Manhattan lawyer earning like $250,000 a year.
Wow.
Who ditched that life to become a yoga instructor. Her private yoga practice for busy female executives wasn't just offering yoga classes, it was helping them prepare for their day in peace. Imagine the value of that for a high-stress professional.
Huge value.
Immense.
Or Jaden Hare's Steamy Kitchen website, which offers recipes. The real benefit, though, is helping families spend quality time making and enjoying delicious food together.
Yeah, it's about the connection. And Megan Hunt, the handcrafted dress designer, helps brides share in the anticipation, celebration, and memories of a perfect day. Who wouldn't pay for that profound emotional connection and peace of mind?
This approach often requires a bit of detective work digging deeper to uncover those hidden needs people don't always articulate. Kyle Hepp, a wedding photographer in Chile, learned this valuable lesson. Her hip, young clients said they wanted non-traditional, candid shots exclusively.
Right, the cool stuff.
But Kyle, with her experience, knew that while they might say that, their parents, and later, even the couples themselves, would really appreciate quick, traditional family shots for their albums. So she'd make this quick and fun, and everyone ended up thrilled with the outcome.
So she gave them what they really wanted, even if they didn't know it yet.
Precisely. She gave them what they really wanted, even if they hadn't fully realized it themselves at the outset.
That's a perfect illustration of selling what people buy, not just what you think they need. I actually have a personal story that perfectly demonstrates this. Early in my own business journey, I created something called Travel Ninja, which was a comprehensive guide on airline intricacies, how to book round-the-world tickets, mistake fares, all the nitty-gritty mechanics of travel hacking.
Okay, sounds useful on the surface.
Yeah, but it sold poorly, only about 100 copies. I was genuinely baffled because people had expressed a lot of interest in the topic.
And that's often the trap, isn't it? People might express a surface-level interest in the mechanics, but what they truly desire is the outcome, the ultimate benefit they'll gain.
Precisely. So I took the feedback to heart and revised it. I launched Frequent Flyer Master, which focused explicitly on how to get cheap free tickets, not the internal workings of the airline industry. That sold 500 copies.
Better?
Much better. But the real breakthrough was Travel Hacking Cartel, which shifted the focus even further to where to go for free. That sold over 3,000 copies on the first day alone.
Wow. Huge difference.
The lesson was crystal clear. People don't care about the complicated mechanics. They care about the outcome and the tangible benefit it brings to their lives.
If you distill it down, what people really want is either more of certain things, like more love, more money, more acceptance, more free time, or less of others, such as less stress, fewer long commutes, or fewer bad relationships.
That's a great way to put it.
If your business focuses intensely on adding more or subtracting less to truly improve someone's life, you're fundamentally on the right track.
And there's a powerful, almost philosophical principle that underlies much of this. Freely receive, freely give. Brooke Snow, a photography teacher, found immense success by genuinely focusing on helping others, even to the point of training her competition.
Really? That sounds counterintuitive.
It does, but she realized that by making her business about profoundly helping others, it led to plenty of work for herself. When you feel stuck or unsure, the fundamental question to ask yourself is, how can you help people more? It's about genuine helpfulness, not just a manipulative tactic. That authenticity builds powerful connections.
This brings us to a wonderfully nuanced point that often surprises people. Follow your passion. Maybe.
Yeah, the maybe is key.
Ralph Waldo Emerson offered a great warning here. Passion, though a bad regulator, is a powerful spring. Building a business around a personal passion can be incredibly fulfilling and lucrative, but it's not always easy, and it absolutely needs to connect to what the market actually wants and is willing to pay for.
A great illustration of this is Gary Leff, who the book calls the travel hacker extraordinaire. He's a CFO for 2 university research centers, a solid, high-level day job. But his personal passion is travel hacking, the art of strategically earning hundreds of thousands of frequent flyer miles to enjoy luxury trips for a fraction of the cost.
Okay, sounds like a fun hobby.
Exactly. He started by just helping friends, then developed a blog, and eventually began charging for his services.
His business model is absolutely fascinating and a testament to value. For just $250, he books dream trips for clients that would otherwise cost $5,000 or more, specializing in first and business class.
Wow, that's incredible value.
And here's the kicker. If he's not successful in finding you that deal, you don't pay.
No kidding.
No kidding. He literally gets paid for his expertise and the immense value he provides, not just for his passion for travel. It's a highly profitable side business that he could scale significantly if his day job situation ever changed. It's value-driven, not passion-driven.
And his example perfectly highlights what the book calls the instant consultant biz rule. If you want to become a consultant, don't be vague like simply calling yourself a business consultant. Pick something specific, a niche where you have demonstrable expertise.
Right, get specific.
And critically, do not underprice your service. No one truly values a $15 an hour consultant. Charge at least $100 an hour or a comparable fixed rate for the benefit you provide. And always be transparent with your pricing. Don't make clients jump through hoops to find out your fees. Clarity builds trust.
Another compelling example is Megan Hunt, the custom dress designer from Omaha. She was a determined entrepreneur from a very young age, starting at 19, working various desk jobs just to gain capital and experience. Her business, creating exquisite custom wedding dresses and bridal accessories, brought in $40,000 her very first year, and she's actively scaling up now.
That's impressive.
She even faced a disaster when 70 hours worth of delicate flower kits disappeared in the mail right before the holidays, requiring her to issue refunds and send teary apology notes. But her resilience and commitment to her customers shone through.
And what's her driving motivation? It's not just the money. She speaks of unlimited earning potential and the freedom to reinvest in my happiness.
Ah, back to freedom.
Exactly. This powerfully reinforces that missing piece we touched on. You don't get paid for your hobby or passion itself, but for helping others pursue it or for something indirectly related that provides immense tangible value to them.
Benny Lewis, known as the Fluent in 3 Months guy, is a perfect case study here. He travels the world speaking 7 languages and makes well over $65,000 a year.
Nice.
But he isn't paid just for the act of speaking multiple languages. He's paid for helping other people learn languages through his structured online course.
Yeah.
His wild YouTube videos like apartment tours conducted in 5 different languages or singing on street corners with goggles on.
I've seen those.
They're simply brilliant, engaging marketing for his core, incredibly helpful product. They're the bait for the value he provides.
And a final, crucial consideration about linking your passion to your business. Sometimes combining a cherished hobby with work can actually kill the enjoyment or stress relief it once provided.
That's a really important point.
It's perfectly okay, even advisable, to keep your passions and your work separate if that's what genuinely makes you happy and maintains your personal freedom. The ultimate goal, remember, is freedom and value, however that manifests for you. There's no single right path. All right, let's talk about the practical side of turning these ideas into reality. Part 2 is all about taking it to the streets, and the first concept here is absolutely transformative for many, the rise of the roaming entrepreneur. Honestly, the old adage, location, 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 is officially wonderfully overrated for so many businesses today.
It's absolutely true. What we're seeing is a growing number of entrepreneurs quietly building significant, sometimes 6-figure, even 7-figure businesses while living anywhere they choose. It fundamentally redefines what a workplace means, shifting it from a fixed physical space to, well, a chosen lifestyle.
Yeah, the author himself embodies this. He describes his own lifestyle, working from cafes in Hong Kong, Vietnam, or Laos, maintaining a routine of morning work and afternoon exploration. His entire business is literally structured around his life, not the other way around.
That's the dream for many, isn't it?
That, to me, is the ultimate manifestation of the freedom this book champions.
Think about Brandon Pierce, the music teacher's helper. He started as a piano teacher who initially built software just to manage his own students and the administrative headaches that came with teaching. Then he had that aha moment. He realized other music teachers had the exact same disorganized music teacher problem.
So he brilliantly developed Music Teacher's Helper into a full-fledged software platform. The outcome is incredible. He now lives in Escazú, Costa Rica, with his family, has 10 employees scattered worldwide, works a mere 15 hours a week.
Only 15 hours, wow.
And makes over $360,000 a year from monthly subscriptions. The core of his freedom. He could literally live anywhere in the world, and his business continues to thrive. That's a powerful transformation from a personal problem to a global solution.
Another compelling example is Kyle Hepp, who transitioned into becoming a worldwide photographer almost accidentally. She had relocated to Chile with her husband, and when his job became insecure, her photography hobby naturally evolved into a full-time, location-independent business, capturing weddings and events all over the globe. Her skills were portable, and her market was everywhere.
And then there's Bernard Vukas, who the book calls the spreadsheet king from Croatia. His personal workspace description perfectly encapsulates the roaming entrepreneur lifestyle. I work from anywhere, anytime. Time zone and location are irrelevant. All my property fits in a single backpack, including the laptop.
Living a dream.
He helps companies with complex Microsoft Office data, initially charging decent wages by Croatian standards, but then, get this, he tripled his rates for new international clients.
Bold move. And it paid off.
Did it ever? He once made $720 in a single day, which, for many in Croatia, is a month's salary. He lives as a true digital nomad, able to work from anywhere, like the beautiful island of Koh Tao in Thailand. This model truly showcases how specialized expertise, delivered digitally, can be leveraged regardless of your physical location, offering immense personal freedom.
So cool.
If you're thinking about joining the ranks of the roaming entrepreneurs, the book offers some practical tips. Utilize visa-free stays for up to 90 days in many countries. or strategically plan visa runs across borders for extended stays. Always keep your work in the cloud with services like Google Docs and Dropbox for seamless access anywhere.
Essential these days.
And remember to use strong, unique passwords. Your digital security is paramount when you're location independent.
Also, embrace accommodation options like couch surfing or Airbnb for low-cost living, which can significantly extend your travel budget. And look to tech-friendly regions like Latin America and Southeast Asia, which are often the most hospitable and cost-effective places to start these nomadic adventures.
Good tips.
The key, of course, is to maintain a healthy balance between adventure and work. Remember, your work enables your travel, so don't feel guilty about dedicating focused time to it.
And speaking of earning, a common and highly profitable model for achieving location independence, and one that resonates strongly with the value theme, is information publishing. It's truly a goldmine for many.
It absolutely is. This can come in various forms: one-off digital products, fixed-period online courses, or even recurring subscriptions that provide ongoing value. Think of Jen Lemon and Andrea Scherer with their Mondo Biondo online course for women, which built a massive, loyal community and now generates six-figure annual incomes with long waiting lists.
Or Darren Rouse's ProBlogger, which started as a photography forum and exploded to over 300,000 subscribers, becoming a central hub for new digital publishers. And Brian Clark's Copyblogger, a company making over $5 million a year by providing online content services heavily reliant on recurring subscriptions. These aren't just businesses, they're communities built around shared knowledge and ongoing value.
But perhaps the most illustrative and inspiring example of information publishing is Brett Kelly's $120,000 ebook, Evernote Essentials.
Oh yeah, this one blew my mind.
Brett, a software developer, was actually $15,000 in credit card debt. He noticed a glaring gap. Despite Evernote's popularity, there was no detailed, comprehensive English user manual.
So he decided to create it. He spent months documenting every tip, trick, and nuance of Evernote, compiling 90 pages of incredibly solid, useful content. His initial goal was to sell $10,000 worth so his wife could quit her restaurant job. He estimated it would take months, maybe even a year.
The outcome was absolutely astonishing. He hit his $10,000 goal in just 11 days.
11 days. Unbelievable.
It then consistently brought in at least $300 a day as a side project, projecting over $120,000 a year, and later peaked at $160,000. And because it was digital delivery, it was almost entirely pure profit.
And here's the ultimate surprise twist that makes this story so powerful. The CEO of Evernote loved it so much that they actually hired Brett and allowed him to continue selling the guide.
No way, that's perfect.
This story is a perfect blueprint for anyone looking to start small and provide massive value. Brett was passionate and skilled. He forged that knowledge into an incredibly useful package that was instantly available, and he priced it perfectly at $25. It shows the immense, often underestimated power of information publishing. What hidden knowledge do you have that could solve someone else's problem?
Now, let's talk about the one-page business plan and the crucial concept of action bias. The simplicity here is key. The fundamental basics of starting a business are incredibly straightforward. You need a product or service, people willing to pay for it, and a way to get paid.
That's it.
That's basically it. Everything else is genuinely optional. There's no need to overcomplicate things with an 80-page business plan that will likely never be read, let alone executed.
This feeds directly into the action bias the book champions. Plan. What plan? In the battle between planning and action, action wins. It's about overcoming inertia and just doing something.
Yes.
Consider Jen and Omar, who created These Are Things, a custom map business. They designed their ideal map, but the printer had a 50-unit minimum, costing them $500. So after making their one map, they suddenly had 49 left over.
Okay, dilemma time.
Instead of letting those maps sit in a closet, they took immediate action. They quickly made a one-page website with a simple PayPal button and went to bed. The very next morning, thanks to a surprise mention on a popular design forum, they sold out their entire first print run in 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Wow. It then rapidly became their full-time work. This perfectly illustrates the profound power of action over excessive planning or paralysis by analysis.
To help you apply this immediate action principle, the book outlines 7 steps to instant market testing. This is a fantastic mini blueprint to get you started.
Okay, lay it on us.
1. First, care deeply about the problem you're solving and ensure a sizable number of others care too. This is the idea of convergence, finding that sweet spot where what you're genuinely good at or passionate about truly meets a genuine market need. It's not just a hobby, it's a paid solution.
Got it. Convergence.
2. Next, test the market size by checking Google keywords. What would people search for to find your solution? This gives you an immediate pulse on demand. 3, ensure your solution is genuinely different and demonstrably better than what's already out there. How do you stand out?
Crucial.
4, critically, ask your potential target market directly if they'd pay for it. This is a critical step that separates liking your idea from buying it. People will tell you they like things, but will they open their wallet?
Good point.
And 5, finally, create an outline of your offering and show it to a small, trusted subgroup for free feedback in return for confidentiality. These early testers often become your first, most enthusiastic evangelists.
A vital point throughout this process is to keep costs incredibly low. Invest your sweat equity, your time and effort, instead of large sums of money. Amy Turnsharp started her toy company with just $300. Nicholas Luff launched his consulting business with a mere $56.33, the cost of a business license.
Amazing. Minimizing debt means significantly less pressure if things don't work out immediately and gives you more flexibility to pivot.
And perhaps the most empowering piece of advice for getting started: get the first sale as soon as possible. Nick Gattens, a photographer, was struggling to get his project off the ground. He had a great idea for a photography series, but no website. He was told, just get the site up now.
Just do it.
He did, and soon after, he sold a $50 print to a stranger online. He later reflected, the day I got my first sale was when I knew the business was going to work out. That first sale overcomes all the inertia, proves your concept, and provides incredible momentum.
After that initial success, it's absolutely critical to respond to initial results. Jen and Omar, after selling out their first batch of maps so quickly, didn't just stop there. They immediately added more map styles and eventually outsourced shipping when going to the post office became a tedious chore.
Smart.
Pay close attention to what created that initial success, and then double down on those elements. Let your customers guide your next steps.
And to keep things simple and focused, the book suggests crafting a 140-character mission statement. This forces you to distill your entire offering down to its absolute essence, focusing squarely on the core benefit for the customer.
Like a tweet for your business.
Exactly. It's not, we sell dog walking services. It's, we help busy owners feel at ease about their dogs when they're not able to be with them. It's about what your customers achieve, how they feel, or the problem you solve for them.
Now let's move on to making an offer you can't refuse. The art of crafting those truly compelling pitches. The core concept here is to create offers so undeniably good that your prospects would literally be foolish to decline them.
The story of Scott and Gary with their Alaska Tour Saver coupon books is absolutely brilliant and a masterclass in this. Scott, a media sales professional, and his friend Gary developed a physical coupon book specifically for Alaska travel. They priced it at $99.95. But here's the genius. It contained deals for helicopter flights and hotels worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars.
Okay, so the value is way higher than the price.
Way higher. Their compelling pitch was deceptively simple, yet devastatingly effective. Buy this coupon book, use it once, get your money back. Then you have more than 100 other uses as a bonus.
It literally paid for itself immediately upon one use. It's an offer that's nearly impossible to refuse because the value proposition is so clear, so immediate, and so overwhelmingly in the customer's favor.
It's like the orange and the donut analogy the book shares.
Okay.
If you're at mile 18 of a grueling marathon, completely depleted, a fresh, juicy orange slice is an offer you absolutely can't refuse.
Oh yeah, definitely want the orange.
A delicious, sugary donut, not so much. An offer must be presented at the right time to the right people with the right context for it to truly resonate and convert.
This also touches on the subtle but critical difference between what people want and what they say they want. Airlines learned this valuable lesson the hard way. People consistently complain about cramped seats and lack of legroom, but they overwhelmingly still choose the cheapest fares.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
Right. Your job as an entrepreneur is to really dig deep and figure out that distinction. What are their underlying motivations and priorities?
When crafting your own irresistible offer, consider these basics. What exactly are you selling? How much does it cost? Who is your ideal customer who will take action? What are the primary and secondary benefits they'll gain? Anticipate and proactively counter any potential objections they might have.
And critically, build in timeliness or urgency. Why should someone buy now rather than later? Often, a gentle but firm nudge is all it takes to prompt a decision.
Jonathan Fields, the former hedge fund lawyer turned fitness entrepreneur, faced a classic challenge: the summer slump at his Manhattan yoga studio.
Ah, the summer slowdown.
To combat this, he crafted a genius offer: unlimited yoga classes for 4 months, for just $180, which is the regular price of only 45 days. The offer started September 1st, and the urgency was built in. The sooner you signed up, the more classes you got, and he made it clear the offer could be withdrawn.
Smart. Many of those who signed up became regular, paying monthly members later, demonstrating the long-term value of a compelling short-term offer.
Market inefficiency also presents incredible opportunities for compelling offers. Think about Priceline.com, which saved people 40% or more on hotels, and then clever third-party sites emerged to reveal which hotel you'd get beforehand.
Oh yeah, hacking the system.
Or Redfin, which directly challenged traditional real estate agent commissions, earning the ire of some but saving consumers thousands. These are all examples of compelling offers that identified real market gaps and provided undeniable value.
Brandy Agerbeck, a graphic facilitator, understood this perfectly. She starts conversations with a curious, almost provocative line. I have a fantastic, strange job.
Ooh, I like that. Makes you want to know more.
Exactly. It instantly creates curiosity and engagement. Then she focuses on the clear benefit for other facilitators and coaches. She acts as their visual silent partner who documents the entire process, freeing them to focus entirely on their clients without distraction. Her pitch isn't about her skills, it's about their enhanced focus and impact.
To really build out your compelling offer toolkit, the book highlights 3 key elements that can make a huge difference. 1. A solid FAQ page. Don't underestimate this. Answer all common questions up front, anticipate doubts, and build confidence before they even have to ask. This removes friction from the buying process.
2. An incredible guarantee, or conversely, no guarantee at all. Zappos, for example, built their empire partly on offering free shipping both ways, making returns effortless. Conversely, some businesses intentionally benefit from no guarantee, as it filters out bad fits and reinforces the purchase for others. The key is clarity. A weak or unclear guarantee only hurts credibility.
And 3.
3. Over-delivery. Wow, look at all this extra stuff. This is about reinforcing their purchase by giving them more than they expected. It could be a handwritten thank you note, an unexpected upgrade, or a bonus resource. Small gestures can create immense goodwill and loyalty.
Now for the grand finale of our Taking It to the Streets section. Launch. A trip to Hollywood from your living room. A good launch isn't just an announcement. It's like a Hollywood movie premiere. It's all about building anticipation, generating buzz, and creating a genuine event.
A fantastic, almost legendary example is Carol Gajda and Adam Baker's fire sale. They gathered products from 23 different colleagues, all valued collectively at over $1,000, and sold the entire bundle for just $97 for a limited window of only 72 hours.
That's insane value.
Right. And to fuel the virality, they even offered an unheard of 80% commission to their promoters.
80%.
80%. The outcome was nothing short of wild. Their server literally crashed from the sheer traffic, and notification of payment received emails flooded inboxes across the internet. It was a mega successful launch because they meticulously built anticipation, created an offer that was simply too good to refuse, and coupled it with extreme urgency and a powerful incentive for others to promote.
The book outlines a clear launch sequence to effectively build this kind of anticipation. 1. Early. Look at the future. Start simple. Just a heads up that you're working on something interesting is a big deal without revealing too much.
2. Why this project will matter. Now elaborate. Explain the game changer, the profound benefits, and why your audience should truly care about this upcoming release.
3. The plan for the big debut. Roll out the specific launch details, the date, the time, encouraging people to make a pre-decision to be ready.
4. OMG. Here it is. This is the big moment. A short, direct message with the link to purchase. Keep it focused and impactful. 5. I'd like to thank my mother for believing in me. This is the closing period. The offer might still be available in a different form, and you provide a glimpse of what's next for the business and the customers.
It's important to note that success can also bring its own unique challenges. David Wachtendonk, who ran Murder Mystery Maniacs, learned this when he received 3,300 Groupon customers instead of the expected 1,500.
Oof, good problem to have, but still a problem.
Exactly. His systems were completely overwhelmed, the restaurant he partnered with was rebranding, and the quality of the overall experience was diluted. His resilience in navigating that unexpected flood was absolutely key to keeping his business afloat.
Relatability and timeliness are also absolutely crucial for a successful launch. People need to see themselves in your story and understand why now is the precise moment to act.
My own empire-building kit launch for this book had a perfect, almost serendipitous, timely story. The Amtrak train I was on and a new travel bag I received were both named Empire Builder. It created a compelling narrative that made the launch feel destined and helped generate over $100,000 in 24 hours. Storytelling is powerful.
And launches aren't just for online products, as the book reminds us. Andres Cambanis actually launched his London cyclist app from London Airport while on a trip, leveraging his surroundings.
Oh,
Anastasia, a children's book author, saw a staggering 267% web traffic increase and doubled her mailing list by simply asking everyone she knew for help promoting an offline launch party. The power of a personal ask and community engagement is massive, whether online or off.
to sum it up, here's a concise launch checklist with key elements you should consider. Ensure clear value in your offer. Provide compelling bonuses for early buyers. Make the whole experience fun and exciting. Consider a video or audio message to connect personally. Build genuine anticipation. Create real urgency that prompts action.
Test everything.
Yes. Thoroughly test your order process. Have clear monetary goals in mind. Inform your bank of large incoming funds to avoid issues. Set up backup payment options. Craft a strong, concise launch message. Leverage social media posts effectively. Send quick personal notes to your buyers, and always over-deliver.
And remember, the power of a strong, unique selling proposition, what truly distinguishes your offering from everyone else's, is paramount to cutting through the noise. Moving into part 3, we shift our focus to how you sustain and grow your microbusiness once it's launched. The first concept is hustle, getting the word out, often for free. Hustling isn't just talking, it's the ideal dynamic combination of work and talk fused together.
Right, you got to do both.
You absolutely want to avoid being a charlatan, all talk, no substance, or a martyr, all work, no promotion. You need both working in tandem.
A truly inspiring example is Elizabeth McCrellish, who started Squam art workshops in rural New Hampshire. She initially invited friends to an art gathering, expecting just a few dozen, but an incredible 135 people showed up.
Wow, that's organic growth.
Her business grew almost solely by authentic word of mouth, even though she did no traditional advertising. She maintained a remarkably close connection with her attendees, even having the mail payments, which helped her maintain a sense of comfort and quality.
That's interesting, the mail payments, very personal.
Yeah, to the point where she even declined invitations to expand internationally. It was about connection, not just scale.
This is where the concept of strategic giving really shines. Megan Hunt, the custom dress designer we discussed, gave custom dresses to influential bloggers for free. This wasn't charity, it was a smart investment that led to tons of new, high-quality customers.
Right, targeted giving.
Similarly, John Moorfield, an unemployed architect during a downturn, offered 5-cent architecture advice at a farmer's market. He genuinely gave professional advice for a nickel. Which rapidly led to free advertising from major outlets like CNN, NPR, and the BBC, and ultimately a flood of new paying clients.
You know, I even stopped charging for my own consulting a while back because, frankly, it often felt inauthentic, like I was holding back if someone couldn't afford me. Now, I simply give advice for free, understanding that it builds incredible long-term goodwill and trust.
That's a bold move, but makes sense for relationship building.
It's not about keeping score in the short term, but about genuinely caring and helping others. This practice truly builds relationships as a core business strategy, not just a short-term tactic. Scott Meyer, for instance, a peace studies professor, returned to South Dakota to help small businesses with tech, focusing on building genuine, lasting relationships within his community.
And for those of us who feel perpetually busy, Derek Sivers' philosophy of first say yes, then say hell yeah is a game changer. It means you only pursue opportunities that truly excite you, where you can wholeheartedly say hell yeah to them.
If it's not a hell yeah, it's a no.
Exactly. If it's just a so-so or a maybe, it's probably a no in disguise. This helps you focus your limited time and energy on what truly matters and resonates.
I actually conducted a very unscientific but illuminating experiment a while back, comparing hustling to paid advertisements. I spent $10,000 on ads, which, after all was said and done, brought in about 78 new customers.
Right.
Then separately, I spent about 10 hours hustling, reaching out, building connections, directly engaging, and that brought in 84 new customers.
Wow, so hustling was more effective and cheaper.
Far more efficient.
Yep.
It yielded an approximate value of $756 per hour. So when you're thinking about how to get the word out, always think about hustling first. You can integrate it into your daily work, even just 10-15 minutes a day dedicated to social media engagement or checking in with key contacts.
Next, let's talk about the absolute core of any business. Show me the money. Mastering financial principles. Naomi Dunford, a high school dropout who built her marketing consulting company IttyBiz to over $200,000 and later $1 million in income.
Incredible story.
Makes a profoundly crucial point that often gets lost in the excitement of entrepreneurship. The goal of business is profit. It's not being liked or having a huge social media presence or having amazing products that nobody buys. Profit is the lifeblood.
That is a truth bomb, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
easy to forget that. Heather Allard, the founder of the Mogul Mom, learned this lesson the hard way with her initial baby blanket business. She accumulated a ton of startup debt by overspending on advertising and elaborate custom websites before she had a proven model.
Ouch.
With her next venture, she learned to truly hang on to her wallet, spending only on things that genuinely built her brand and directly boosted sales, not just on maintenance or unproven expenses.
This powerfully underlines the idea that borrowing money to start a microbusiness is completely optional. Small is beautiful, and often small is actually better and more sustainable in the long run.
Right, you don't need debt.
But if you do need to raise funds, the book highlights some incredibly unconventional and creative methods. Shannon Oki, for instance, raised $12,480 for her craft publishing business on Kickstarter after traditional banks refused her a loan.
Turning rejection into fuel.
Brilliantly turning rejection into widespread interest and opportunity from her community.
Emma Reynolds from E3 Reloaded even got a fake car loan of $20,000 to use as business capital, and she paid it back in just 10 months. She now employs 20 people across 4 countries.
That takes guts. And Kristen McNamara raised $80,000 for her climbing gym, SLO Up Climbing, directly from community members by offering them 3% above prime interest rates. These are fantastic examples of how creative problem solving and leveraging your social capital can triumph over traditional banking hurdles.
Okay, so what are the core money principles?
The book thoughtfully outlines 3 core actionable money-making principles that apply to almost any microbusiness. 1. Base prices on benefits, not costs. Remember Gary Leff, the travel hacker?
Yeah, the $250 guy.
He charges a flat $250 for his service, whether it takes him 10 minutes or 2 hours. Why? Because clients are paying for his expertise and the immense outcome he delivers. A $5,000 luxury trip for $250, not his time. Don't compete on the lowest price. Compete fiercely on the value you provide. 2, offer a limited range of prices. Think like Apple when they sell their iPhones. They offer entry, mid, and high-end versions. The higher-end option creates an anchor price, making the mid and lower option seem far more reasonable and accessible.
The anchoring effect.
Selling a single widget at a flat $87 a zers, offering a budget, $87 better, $129, and premium $199 can significantly increase your average income per sale from $87 to $133 in one example. It shifts the question from if they'll buy to which version they want.
And number 3.
3, get paid more than once, recurring income. This is arguably the most powerful principle for stability. Think continuity programs, memberships, and subscriptions, like charging $20 a month. The impact is exponential.
Yeah.
100 subscribers at $20 a month equals $24,000 a year. 1,000 subscribers equals $240,000 a year.
That's the holy grail for many businesses.
Brian Clark from Copyblogger mastered this, gradually moving customers from one-time purchases like WordPress themes to recurring services by building deep trust and focusing on share of the customer rather than just market share.
And the $35,000 experiment is a brilliant, simple demonstration of this principle. One entrepreneur decided to raise the price of a digital product from $49 to $89. Despite a slight conversion rate drop, his overall income increased by an incredible $35,040 annually.
Wow. Just from a price change, it demonstrates the astonishing power of strategic pricing and focusing on value, not just volume.
And Naomi Dunford's "You Have More Than You Think" story is incredibly compelling and highlights the power of social capital. She desperately needed $900 for a conference, but her PayPal was unexpectedly frozen. Within literally 2 minutes, she found 3 volunteers from her network willing to lend their credit cards.
Amazing. This truly highlights that you often have more resources available to you, especially in terms of goodwill and connections, than you might initially realize.
Okay, so you've gotten your business off the ground, it's making money. Now, how do you sustain that momentum and truly grow? This next section is called Moving On Up, Tweaking Your Way to the Bank. The book argues that growth isn't actually as hard as starting.
Really? That seems counterintuitive.
Well, it's often said that the first $1.26 is the hardest, because that initial sale overcomes the biggest hurdle of inertia and self-doubt. From there, small, regular actions or tweaks can create unexpectedly big impacts.
Nev Lapwood, for example, a ski bum who was laid off, started giving snowboard lessons locally. But then he had the insight that he could reach a global audience with virtual lessons. In his second year, he scaled his business to just under $100,000 net income and was on track for $300,000 in his third.
From snowboard lessons.
Right. He now plans to travel 6 months a year and run his business for the other 6, even translating his content into 9 languages.
That's the profound power of strategic tweaking and thinking beyond your immediate physical location. The book breaks down these impactful tweaks into 3 key areas for increasing income. 1. Increase traffic. Simply put, get more attention, get more eyeballs on your product or service. This means actively growing your email list, expanding your reach on social media, or getting more press.
2. Increase conversion rate. Once people are looking, turn more of those visitors into actual buyers. This involves refining your sales copy, optimizing your website, or running A/B tests to see what resonates.
And 3.
3. Increase average sales price. Get your existing customers to spend more per purchase. This can be done through strategic upsells or product bundles.
Strategies for increasing income within those 3 areas are varied and effective. Think about upsells, cross-sells, and sales after the sale, much like Amazon's related items suggestions. Upsells, like offering dessert in a restaurant after the main course, can have a surprisingly high conversion rate of 30% or more on confirmation pages.
Good to know.
And critically, always focus on selling more to your existing customers. They're already familiar with you, they trust you, and they're most likely to buy again.
You can also create a Hall of Fame on your website to showcase powerful customer success stories for incredible social proof. Actively encourage referrals by being specific instead of just tell a friend, try send this to 3 friends who would benefit, or like us on Facebook.
Be direct with the ask.
Holding a contest can generate significant attention and grow your audience for future sales. And think about a powerful guarantee, like Zappos free shipping both ways that makes purchase decisions effortless. Or, conversely, no guarantee at all, as some businesses find that higher prices lead to fewer customer service issues because they attract a different type of client.
Another effective tweak is adding a service to a product, or vice versa. Perry Marshall's $50 report, for example, eventually led to $1 million in group workshops after he started offering jumpstart sessions with it.
Combining product and service.
Or consider Happy Knits, a local yarn store that thrives by being a welcoming community space, having a clear online strategy, using professional online photos, not just manufacturers' generic ones, offering exclusive deals, and simply prioritizing being incredibly nice and providing exceptional service.
And for service providers, this is a crucial tweak often overlooked. Raise your prices regularly. Andy Dunn, a developer, initially feared raising his rates by 25%, but he found it gave him much more confidence and allowed him to either work 7 hours less or earn significantly more for the same amount of time.
Many freelancers surveyed reported that when they finally raised their rates, clients often responded with a surprising, "It's about time."
So they were undervaluing themselves. The key is to price on the value you deliver, not just the time you spend.
And if you're trying to figure out your social media strategy, the best one is surprisingly simple. Talk about yourself and your business. People follow you because they're interested in you, your journey, your insights, your unique perspective, not just links to other people's content.
Be authentic.
Think about Shaquille O'Neal. People follow him because of him, his personality, his life. Your unique voice is your biggest asset online.
Okay, so you've built a profitable microbusiness, you're tweaking for growth. Now, how do you take it to the next level of impact or scale? The next concept is how to franchise yourself, scaling and delegation. The core idea here is to strategically go beyond being a single-person operation, enabling you to reach more people or new, different audiences.
Natalie Lissier's journey from raw foods witch to tech consultant is a fantastic illustration of self-franchising. She initially built a $60,000 raw foods business based on her personal health success story. But over time, she realized her deeper passion was also in technology and business strategy.
So she pivoted, kind of.
Sort of. She brilliantly restructured the raw foods business to run on 80% autopilot, allowing her to then create a completely separate tech consulting brand. She effectively franchised herself by reaching 2 distinct audiences with 2 different yet equally valuable messages.
Similarly, Brooke Thomas, who healed her own chronic pain through Rolfing and became a successful practitioner, eventually filled her client list. At that point, she didn't just stop. She then started Practice Abundance, a business training program specifically for other wellness providers.
Teaching others how to do it.
Exactly. She effectively diversified, reaching 2 distinct audiences. direct clients for her Rolfing, and fellow caregivers who needed business guidance.
You essentially have two powerful options for this idea of self-franchising. You can either reach more people with the same message, think of a hub-and-spoke model, with your main website as the solid central hub,
Like a wheel.
and all your social media platforms or other online outposts as the spokes radiating out, drawing people back to that core hub. Or you can reach different people with a new message, as Natalie and Brooke so effectively demonstrated.
Partnerships are another incredibly powerful way to franchise yourself, where 1 + 1 can genuinely equal 3 or more. Joint ventures like Carol Gajda and Adam Baker's fire sale we talked about earlier, or entirely new complementary businesses like Patrick McCran and Rich Strauss's Endurance Nation for triathletes can create something at least 33% larger than the sum of the individual's efforts alone.
Makes sense.
The book suggests a simple one-page partnership agreement to outline money splits, responsibilities, and even the duration, keeping things clear and focused.
Now, the perennial big question for any growing entrepreneur.
Yeah.
To outsource or not to outsource? It's a decision with significant pros and cons, and the book presents both sides.
Yes, the outsourcing debate.
The pro-outsourcing camp, like Megan Hunt, found that hiring employees allowed her to accept more orders and honestly made her happier as part of a collaborative team. Erica Kuzminski built a transcription team of 17 contractors, and her business essentially ran itself even when she was sick. Outsourcing clearly allows for scaling and frees up the owner's time for higher-level work.
But then there's the anti-outsourcing camp. Gary Leff, the travel hacker, is concerned about quality control and doesn't want to dilute his unique offering or work for less. Adam Westbrook deliberately fits his entire business in a backpack with zero overhead.
Total freedom there.
Jaden Hare simply doesn't like getting paid last after rent and employees, prioritizing her own income stability. Andy Dunn spent too much time managing contractors and found it counterproductive. And Brandy Egerbeck lives by the motto, never have a boss, never be a boss.
So the answer truly depends on the specific nature of the business and, perhaps most importantly, the personality of the business owner. A business with highly repetitive standardized tasks might be a perfect fit for outsourcing, but one relying heavily on deep customer relationships and unique creative input might not. It's a very personal choice driven by your values.
The cautionary tale of the Copley Trash Services disaster perfectly illustrates the risks of outsourcing without proper oversight. Spencer and Hannah, two enterprising kids on a hospital ship, created a simple one-a-week garbage collection service, generating a consistent $25 a week in recurring income.
Cute business.
Yeah. But when they outsourced it to other kids while on leave, the new management was unreliable, leading to customer cancellations and a significant decline in revenue. The lesson here is stark. Without active, engaged management or a clear, binding agreement, even the simplest businesses can suffer greatly when you delegate.
To avoid such pitfalls and ensure sustainable growth, it's essential to regularly audit your business. Focus relentlessly on what actually makes you money. Ask yourself, where do you truly make money? And then concentrate your efforts on those strong performers.
Also, ask, how effectively are you marketing to existing customers? And continuously optimize your post-purchase processes to encourage repeat business. And always keep a possibilities list to track where are the big missing opportunities, even if you don't pursue them immediately.
Affiliate programs are another incredibly effective way to franchise yourself by leveraging others' networks. Amazon pioneered this back in 1996. The author himself pays a generous 51% commission to his affiliates, but with the expectation that they'll build deeper, more authentic connections with their audiences through detailed reviews, bonus content, or personal endorsements, rather than just slapping up a generic link.
Creating true partners, not just salespeople. This fosters a true partnership model where everyone benefits by providing value.
Finally, we arrive at a concept that truly ties the entire book together. Going long, become as big as you want, and no bigger. This vital idea highlights that entrepreneurs define risk and security very differently. There's truly more than one valid road to freedom and success, and it's about defining your own.
Silly Pines, a designer, crafted exquisite custom Jewish wedding contracts called Ketubot for 8 years as a passionate night and weekend project. She eventually went full-time, but found herself feeling trapped and creatively drained by the constant demands. Seems like it. So she made a strategic decision. She returned to her former design firm part-time. The outcome. She found a much-needed balance, and her Ketubot business remained profitable without the crushing pressure of being her sole reliance. She describes it as laying brick after brick, building to a comfortable, sustainable critical mass at her own pace.
This beautifully illustrates the fundamental choice you face as an entrepreneur. Stay small, go big, or split the difference.
Yeah.
Cherie Verard, for example, purposely declined growth for her software business. She chose to maintain her quality of life, living in St. John and making a comfortable $50,000 a year, prioritizing balance over scale.
Her mantra is powerful. I own my business. The business doesn't own me.
Then there's Tom Ben, the luggage factory owner, who consciously chose to go big. His Seattle operation grew to a seven-figure business, but he kept it fiercely independent, famously turning down offers from big box stores and prioritizing his employees' well-being.
His philosophy provides a clear guideline. All the bad days have two things in common. You know the right thing to do, but you let somebody talk you out of doing it. Trust your gut.
And Jessica Regan Salzman, a bookkeeper, chose to split the difference. Her side business became her main source of income after her husband's layoff. She grew it significantly, but then after some experience, she returned to a one-woman shop, a sole proprietorship, after realizing that hiring created higher costs and obligations she simply didn't want. She found her sweet spot, her ideal balance.
Regardless of your chosen path, small, big, or somewhere in between, it's absolutely crucial to don't be a firefighter and instead consistently work on your business, not just in it.
What's the difference there?
Working in it is doing the day-to-day tasks. Working on it means setting aside at least 45 minutes daily without internet distractions to focus on proactive growth. Things like business development, exploring new products or partnerships, offer development, refining sales processes or planning launches, and fixing long-standing systemic problems. This dedicated time is about forward motion, not just maintenance.
For entrepreneurs in the U.S., health insurance is often a major concern, and the book touches on various creative options. These include exploring group policies through associations like the Freelancers Union, looking into concierge medical programs for primary care, relying on a partner's job,
A common one.
utilizing COBRA benefits after a layoff, or strategically using self-insurance health savings accounts. It requires creative planning based on individual circumstances and priorities.
And remember to consistently monitor your business. Don't get bogged down in too many metrics. Select just one or two key daily metrics like sales volume or new leads. Then conduct deeper monthly or bi-weekly reviews of your overall progress. Brandy Agerbeck, the graphic facilitator, simply tracks her bookings on index cards to know when she's full and can focus on other things. Simple, effective tracking is key to staying on course.
The book also makes a valuable distinction between the built-to-sell model, which typically focuses on creating a scalable entity that can eventually be sold for a big payday, and the $100 startup model, which is fundamentally about creating an intrinsically linked, freedom-based career that serves your lifestyle.
Neither is inherently better. It simply depends entirely on your personal goals for financial and lifestyle freedom.
Finally, the big, scary question. But what if I fail? The book offers profound insights into the power of resilience. Most successful entrepreneurs have not just one, but multiple failure-to-success stories where setbacks became catalysts.
Failure is part of the process.
John T. Unger, a sculpture artist, is a prime example. His studio roof collapsed, which he called the third best thing that ever happened to him because the insurance money allowed him to buy new buildings.
Wow, turning disaster into opportunity.
He then lost his day job in the dot-com crash, which he termed the second best thing, because losing that stable income forced him to fully commit and stick with his art. And then, in a truly terrifying event, he was even held at gunpoint by a cab driver, which he paradoxically called the best thing.
Good grief, how is that the best thing?
These traumatic experiences, rather than destroying him, somehow provided intense focus, clarity, and an unshakable resolve to pursue his dreams.
And crucially, you don't need unwanted advice and unneeded permission. The book highlights how entrepreneurs like Charlie Paps simply ignored well-meaning friends who weren't entrepreneurs themselves and didn't understand his path. Jelly Vitry learned to trust her own judgment and only seek input from those with unique, valuable perspectives.
The message is crystal clear. Stop waiting. Start taking action. You don't need anyone's permission to pursue your dream. The only permission you need is your own.
As we look at what are we afraid of, it's often not just external concerns like running out of money or a changing marketplace. There are often deeper internal fears. Things like clients inadvertently taking your business in a hated direction, as one entrepreneur put it. It's really hard to quit your job when it's your own company.
That's a tough spot.
Or the fear that you'll love only the work of building and the work itself will no longer be fun once it's established. Some even admitted they almost wanted it to fail so I could learn from the process.
But go, the common thread, the powerful unifier for all these unexpected entrepreneurs were these transformative moments, those instances where it hit like a ton of bricks. For Gary Leff, it was receiving his first payment check and a major magazine recommending his travel service.
Validation.
For Karen Starr, it was her passionate, heartfelt plea that changed the bank's mind about a crucial loan. For Kyle Hepp, it was splurging on hotel internet while traveling and seeing an email for a life-changing $5,000 plus wedding booking.
Those moments must feel incredible. These weren't just successes. These moments powerfully cemented their belief and commitment, proving to themselves that their ideas had real, tangible value and that they were unequivocally on the right path. They were the turning points that transformed a dream into a solid reality.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we've journeyed through the core principles of the $100 startup, from the power of identifying that sweet spot of convergence between what you love and what people will pay for, to focusing relentlessly on selling emotional benefits rather than just dry features.
We've seen the liberating action bias of just getting started with minimal cost, how to craft truly irresistible offers, and how to implement smart, continuous tweaks for sustained growth.
The overarching empowering theme we hope you'll take away is that true freedom comes not just from accumulating a certain amount of money, but from consciously designing a life and a business that deeply aligns with your personal purpose, your values, and the kind of impact you want to make in the world.
It's about self-determination at its finest.
To recap some key takeaways to truly cement in your mind, focus relentlessly on the convergence between what you love or are truly good at and what others are genuinely willing to pay for. Find that intersection.
Always, always sell emotional benefits, not just descriptive features. Help people get more of what they want or less of what they don't want in their lives.
You absolutely can start with very little money, sometimes literally under $100. Remember, the first sale is often the hardest, but it's the most empowering step that overcomes that initial inertia and self-doubt.
Leverage is incredibly powerful, whether it's through smart pricing strategies, building recurring income models, or strategically deciding how to franchise yourself through partnerships or selective outsourcing.
And perhaps most important of all, take action and continuously work on your business, not just in it. Dedicate consistent time to proactive growth and strategic thinking.
And we'd like to leave you with a truly provocative thought, one that really brings all these ideas home. Remember Rhett, the tuk-tuk driver in Cambodia?
Oh yeah, from the book.
He earns up to $50 a day, which is far, far more than most of his peers. Not by driving aimlessly, but by strategically serving regular clients, actively asking for referrals from them, and even adding advertising to his vehicle. He understood value, consistency, and proactive marketing in a seemingly simple, everyday business.
So we leave you with this question. If a tuk-tuk driver in Phnom Penh can innovate and create extraordinary value to achieve remarkable financial freedom, what does your unique tuk-tuk driver strategy look like, and how will you begin to implement it today?
For more resources and tools to continue your own deep dive, we encourage you to visit 100startup.com.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We hope this is giving you plenty of inspiration and practical ideas to think about for your own journey to freedom and purpose.